for almost 800 years. It was founded in the Geniza in Cairo.
He lived in Spain.
He lived in Spain too. He was founded in Cairo in the Geniza about 100 years ago. The Beis HaBechira. It's a very important Rishon. It's on every Masechta in Shas. So the Meiri says like this: Yishmaelim alalu, who he knew very well because he lived in Spain. Yesh misha omer aleim she'enim ovdei avodah zarah. He cites an opinion that they're not avodah zarah. V'dorin osam keger toshav. They're treated like a ger toshav. A ger toshav normally is somebody who lives in Eretz Yisrael, who's not Jewish, and he keeps the Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach. That's a standard definition of a ger toshav. And therefore, there's halachic ramifications to a ger toshav. Ein magam oiser bana. If they touch wine, it doesn't aser bana. Aval bisham reizer ger toshav kol shekibel alav shol avodah zarah. Now, so even though one of the criteria of a ger toshav is someone has to be someone who is makabel on himself not to accept avodah zarah. So if the opinion held that they were a ger toshav, obviously that opinion held that Islam is not avodah zarah.
When it says "Ein magam oser b'hana'ah," I think the question is it also b'achila?
No, oser b'hana'ah is because yain nesach is not just oser b'achila, but it's oser b'hana'ah. But stam yenam you can have a na from. You can sell it. You can be in business with stam yenam. So you can't drink it, but you can have a na.
What is the hana if you're not selling
Just
it?
touching it.
They touch the wine, they could be asur b'achila.
It'll be Osir B'achila, but not Osir B'ana. That's why he didn't say, what it says, he only said it's not Osir B'ana. That's the one ramification of a Ger Toshav in a regular Akum. However, Chachamim Oimrim Kol Shekibel Alav Sheva Mitzvos, which is a more stringent deal. Uvekabol Ufnei Shlosh Chaveri. Ve'elu Einam Mekabim Aleim Kach. But the Yishmaelim are not doing that. Kfar Omra Kitanya Ila Chayoso. See, a regular, there are dinim of akum that you, for example, if they fall into a pit, you don't have to bring them out of the pit. You can't kill them by a dayim, you don't necessarily have to save them. But by a ger toshav, there's a din of a hakayoso. You have to make sure that he lives, so you have to help him get out of the pit. So this is just a din in how the difference din in between akum, meaning of the avodah zarah, versus a ger toshav. What do you mean on Shabbos? Well, today we have Mishum Eva, so you'd have to do everything Mishum Shabbos.
Everything. Even a goy had to do Eva too. But we have the whole thing with the...
So Lachayoso, we're talking about not Shabbos, we're talking about Lachayoso. If they fall into a pit, the din of a regular Akum is you don't have to save them. On a Monday. Forget about Shabbos. You don't have to be matriach yourself to bring a ladder and to do anything. Well, before you talk about Shabbos, let's talk about Wednesday. So if you have an akum, there's no din of burning the ladder down. If you have a ger toshav, you'd have to bring a ladder down on Wednesday. Now, normally when we don't violate Shabbos for a non-Jew. So today, because of Eva, we do.
But what about on Shabbos? On the ger toshav, are you allowed to bring a ladder
on Shabbos, we don't violate Shabbos for people who are not Jewish. Except Mishum Eva. Eva has to do with we're afraid of riots. So today, for example, there's no din as a physician that I have to respond to somebody on Shabbos if they're not Jewish on Shabbos. We do so Mishum Eva, because otherwise we're going to have riots, there's going to be... so Mishum Eva, but Midin, we don't, there's no requirement to do so.
So Ger Toshav is not considered, technically not considered a Jew.
He's not a Jew. I'm not talking about a Ger. A Ger Toshav is a goy who lives in Eretz Yisrael and follows the Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach. He's a goy. A regular Ger is a full Jew.
Yes, living in Israel.
Jerry, we're not talking about a Ger Tzedek. A Ger Tzedek is a non-Jew who converts to Judaism. A Ger Toshav is a non-Jew who decides to live under your dominion, in your territory, under your laws. You keep Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Noach, and there the din is not like a regular akum that you don't have to save him. You do have to save him.
You do have to save him.
Yes.
Right.
But he can be your Shabbos goy.
So let's go back. Kitay lachayosu klomer shlonis tavin lachayosu mitoras ach ela b'derech zeh aval le'isr yenu ba'no kol she'en avodah zarah lo haya b'chlal minyan. So he's explaining why there's no Isra Anah by Ger Toshav. However, that's the first opinion. Basically, the Meiri is bringing us two opinions. The first opinion is clearly that they're not of the Avodah Zarah. However, mikol makom chakmei sfard cholkim ba sharei matzinu beperek rishon shehu mono b'chal Avodah Zarah gishra shebaravia. In Masechta Avodah Zarah, they listed that there was a place in Arabia called Gishra, which was a place of Avodah Zarah. So basically, the Meiri is showing us that there's a machlokes. The Ran writes that although the Ishmaelites don't make their prophets into deities, nevertheless they are considered idolaters, similar to the second opinion in the Meiri. The Ran, Bernie lived in Girona in Spain. I was at the place of the Ran. So now again, the Ran lived in a time where the Iberia, the Spanish Peninsula, was Muslim until, of course, 1492. That was only when the final Ferdinand and Isabella conquered, conquered but he conquered the last place where the Alhambra is. That was the last shtick that the Muslims had. But Aragon and Castile had been conquered in 1200. The reconquest of Spain took about 400 years. So the Ran was already living in places where were primarily Christian. The places that were not. So again, we have to take into consideration who they were living with at the time in terms of their opinion. So right now we have a machlokas. The Meiri brought an opinion. That it's not and that it is, and the Ran holds the fact that it is. Where does the Ran say that? Lamadnu mikan shahakotshim shel kusim. Kotshim shel kusim refers to the saints, right, of the Gentiles. Then it says v'gam hameshuga shel hayishmaelim. That okay. Afal pi she'ein toin achreim la'soison elokus. Now there's no claim that they make the saints deities. Because people bow down to them. It's not just that they're honoring their dead people. So the Ran is maintaining that because they bow down in the form of a worship, that it is considered avodah zarah. By the way, he gives you a little history of the Ran. However, the Rambam, who is well acquainted with the Muslim, because remember, the Rambam, who lived in Cordova, he certainly knew Islam, hold that they do not have the status of idol worshippers, as he explains that their religion believes in one God. Let's read the Rambam. This has been uprooted from their mouths and their hearts. When they pray to one God. If a person will say, now there's a place in Mecca called the Kaaba. The Kaaba, before Muhammad conquered it, was a place of avodah zarah. Apparently, they kept those avodah zarahs there as well, besides other things that they have in Oslo.
Throw stuff at and all that.
He says the old avodah zarahs are still hidden there. Who cares about it? He says, even those people who go visit it now, when they bow down to it, they're having in mind Avinu Shabbat Shemaim. Ukvar pirshu Chazal b'Sanhedrin she'imishtachav ve'odem lebeis avodah zarah. The Chazal already said that if somebody bows down to a beis avodah zarah, but v'hu savar shu beis haknesses, but he thinks it's a shul, harei libo mosar l'shamayim. V'chein elu ha'yishma'elim hayom kulam taf v'noshim, all the Muslims, the children, the women, nichus al zov v'rzor mipiem, the real idolatry has been removed from their heart. V'ta'utem v'tipshum v'devar machermi. They have other issues, but it's not avodah zarah. Aval b'yichud Hashem yisala ein lehem tos klo. But in accepting the one God as one God, there's no mistake. Uve'emes sh'ayel yishma'elim mikodem ba'osam ha'makomos shlosha min avodah zarah. The Rambam tells us that they had Pa'or, they had Markulis v'Komosh. Now, Pa'or was an avodah zarah that was worshipped by going to the bathroom in front of it. We know that because Baal Pa'or, that when Bnei Yisrael came to Arvis Moab, that was one. Markulis was Mercury. It was the idolatry of the traveler. It was one rock, another rock, and a rock placed on the top of it. And then when patients traveled, they would see that and they would throw another rock there. So you would see a rock with a rock, and many rocks gathered around it. That's how Merkulis was worshipped. We learned that in Avodah Zarah. So apparently these three Avodah Zarahs are hidden in the Kaaba. Klolo shel davar afal pi she'ikar advar misoil Avodah Zarah ein adam ba'olam mashlich otam avonim v'lo mishtach v'lo somokim v'lo osid davar mikol advar Hashem Avodah Zarah lo b'fiv v'lo b'libo el libo mosel l'shamayim. He still claims that whatever they do with those things, their minds are to heaven.
That's the Rambam.
The Rambam is referring to the edifice known as the Kaaba and the broken stone within it, which is found in Mecca. This was an ancient temple for the idolaters of the Arabian Peninsula, where many people came to visit on a yearly basis, an established practice before the rite of Islam began. When the supporters of Muhammad conquered the area and killed many of the locals, including 3 groups of Jews who refused to convert, Muhammad retained the Kaaba as a place of worship, as it was already entrenched culturally as a house of worship in the entire area. He did so in order to try and lessen the resistance to the new religion. Henceforth, the Kaaba became known as the holy site of Islam, built by Avram and Yishmael. Now, the Tzitz Eliezer in our time rules in accordance with the Ran that entering into a mosque is equivalent to entering a house of idolatry and is completely forbidden. Whereas Rav Ovadia Yosef is lenient, relying on the opinion of the Rambam. Let's see them inside. The Tzitz Eliezer says, Arei labmadnu mefush medivri Aran, the gam lavodas Ishmaelim ishtachlim lenovi hasheker shlehem, din avodas elilim, yesh lekodshem lechol dover. V'im kain bor lefi zeh shegam beis hamizgad shlehem, that's the mosque, sheboim mibatzim avodason, that's where they do their worship, yesh legam kain din shel beis avodas elilim, lechol dover, v'osur likanes l'sham. Ubar chalokenu shtivlam anatom anatom Torah semes.
I understand why he says that. I mean, it's nothing. You walk into a mosque, there's nothing there. There's nothing on the
No,
wall.
but he says,
there's no pictures.
no, but he says since they do their worship there, it becomes a base of
But
Avodah
what?
Zarah.
So they worship, but they worship.
But the Ran, he's but that's according to the Rambam. The Ran, which we quoted, was a Rishon from the time of the Rishonim that we rely on in all sorts of psukim, held that it had a din of Avodah Zarah. Because bowing down to them, they do it in a nature, in a religious manner, and this is considered idol worship with regarding to all aspects of the prohibition of idolatry. That's the Ran. So based on that opinion, that Tzitz Eliezer relies on the Ran to say that it's osir. But the Ovadia Yosef,
Where did Eliezer
no,
live?
Tzitz Eliezer lived 20 years ago. He just passed away. He lived in Eretz Yisrael. No, he's an Ashkenaz. So again, the Ovadia Yosef, who grew up in the Muslim areas, said, "Umeata nire."
He probably went to them.
The Ovadia Yosef says, "Shamizgadim shel Arovim, the mosques of the Arabs, ein lahem din batei avodah zarah. They don't have the din. Umutar likanes pesochem. You can go inside. Vafilu Aran. Now he explains the Ran. Sha'omer shahol mishtachim lifneim kavodah zarah shel elokus. Din avodah zarah yesh lehem yesh lomar she'ilu haya shmi'alei kol masha Rambam b'tshuva lo haya omer kein." So Rav Ovadia Yosef seems to say that the Ran never saw the Rambam. Shebavadei Rambam hayabaki b'hem b'yoser. He says Maimonides was certainly an expert much more, and the Ran would have understood that. So he wants to say that the Ran probably didn't see the Rambam. Listen, there's no printing press. Maimonides was written by hand at that time, and it's very well that the Ran didn't have the Yad HaChazaka. V'chol raz lo honestly. Divrei maschot shekasha loimer sheba'osim mekomis yichol limud sham. Zera whatever aval b'mizgarim shishme'elim she'ein sham avodah zarah klal. Af atoysis moedim shemuter lispal v'limud sham ein sham chenikar. And that's what he says.
The Rambam was very controversial on this topic, and they were burning the Rambams because, his writings, because he accepted Islam so much.
No.
There was.
Now, Rav Yaakov Ariel, who's the chief rabbi Rav Yaakov Ramiel is the chief rabbi of Ramat Gan. He's probably the major Mizrahi posek that we have. He agrees that a mosque is not considered a place of idol worship. So the practical halacha is that one should not enter a mosque simply for the sake of enjoyment. And is it preferable for a Jew not to portray it as having significance? But one who does so with good reason, he's studying, he's learning, he's a PhD student, whatever the story is, has sufficient basis upon which to rely on. Okay. Next week, Christianity.
How about where's Buddhism?